And one after another, we created many, many social business, became nationwide businesses. Very interesting thing is, some international companies, global companies became interested in the concept of social business. They wanted to build social business, taking us as a partner. So we agreed. So we kept Danone, Uniqlo, and many other such companies. So another class of business is created, social business. So the world is stuck. And it cannot free itself from the old thinking. In old thinking, you are destroying this whole world for yourself. I said, old thinking has created old civilization, which you are going through. And I repeatedly underline that old civilization that we are going through, the present civilization that we are going through, is a self-destructive civilization. It will destroy everything. And that's the path we are going. If you want to survive as human being on this planet, I said we have to create a new civilization, which will be, the features of new civilizations has to be very clear. First condition of the new civilization, the businesses should not be greed-driven. So greed part has to be squeezed out in the new civilization. Greed will destroy us. Why? Because whatever, all the things that we talk about, we promise as a government to see this is what we're doing. Our country is moving forward, our GDP is growing and all that. Growth rate is so high. So what? All the wealth this is generated gets concentrated in few hands. They become richer, richer and richer. And we call it development, we call it growth, we call it fantastic economy. But that's, you are planting the seed of your self-destruction. Unless wealth is shared, you cannot sustain a society. Concentration of wealth equals concentration of power. And you start concentrating power and deprive the power for the people on the ground, that society will collapse sooner or later. That's it. This is one reason why the civilization cannot sustain. On top of it, we are destroying the planet through environmental side. We created the world where consumption is the king. You buy, consume, consume, consume. And in the process, create waste and waste and waste. If not anything else, the whole waste that we generate every day will put us into grave of waste. I said we have to redesign our lifestyle. Lifestyle is not about continuous process of creating waste. Life is about preservation. Life is about protection. So I continued on that. Then finally I came out with one idea, put it in a kind of capsule format. Said we have to create a civilization of 3 zeros. 3 zeros. 0 net carbon emission, 0 wealth concentration, 0 unemployment. And unemployment not because everybody has a job. The way I interpret unemployment, I said, human beings are not born to work for anybody else. The economic system that we are taught, is again put onto a wrong footing. We are asking everybody to find a job. Our education system is built around finding, so that you get a job as soon as you finish your school. You get a certificate, you get a job. I said human beings are very different from job seeker. First of all, human beings are not slaves. Slavery is not part of our destination. Job turns you into a slave. You take orders from other people. You are born as an entrepreneur. So I bring the entrepreneurship at the center. Every child has to grow up as an entrepreneur. Our schooling, our education system changed itself. You teach young people to become an entrepreneur, not to become a job seeker. So that is another clash between what we are promoting and what we are practicing in the outside world. I said, the young generation today is you forget about the previous generation. Today's generation is so different. I keep mentioning to the young generation that you are the most powerful generation in the human history. And you're taking this most powerful generation and put them into work for somebody else. Take orders from somebody else. They're filled with ideas. If you free them. Now you're forcing them to get a job because otherwise they're going to survive. Because you have not provided those things. So that's where we say we have to be entrepreneurs. So 3 zeros. 0 net carbon emission, 0 wealth concentration, 0 unemployment. And then we started encouraging young people between 12-year-old to 35-year-old to create what we call 3-0 clubs. 5 young people get together, create a 3-0 club. What do? Each one of you transform yourself as 3-0 person. I do not contribute as a person. I do not contribute into carbon emission. I do not do anything which contributes to carbon emission. It's my lifestyle issue. I create a life where I don't do that. I do not create any waste. This is part of my commitment as a member of the 3-0 club. I do not practice anything which will lead to wealth concentration. 0 wealth concentration. I'll become an entrepreneur. I do not contribute to job seeking, working for somebody else. So these are the 3-0. I become a 3-0 person. So this is the direction I want to go. So these are the ideas that one led to another. This is not something happened isolated way. Each one linked to one. I mentioned to go back, concentrate in one village. I said, whatever you try to do, don't try to do overnight, change the world. You cannot do that. If you want to change the world, you start with your village. You start with your neighborhood. If you are successful with your neighborhood, then you have a chance to go to the next step and the next step. Life is about developing a prototype. If you build a prototype, the rest is easy. Replicate. Because you have basic structure here fixed up. That's how microcredit works. You built up the first unit. If the first unit works, you can make thousands and thousands of units doing the same thing. So don't start with a big thing. That's the wrong idea. Always start with the smallest thing possible. Figure out what the smallest thing is all about. And you do that. If you're successful with your smallest unit, you can conquer the world. The rest is easy. Just by repetition. So this is where we are right now and trying to see we can address the people's attention to change their views, because the whole problem is created by the way we structured the civilization for ourselves. Unless we redesign it, we are stuck and we are finished. So that's the world we have the alternative. It's not that it's a kind of terrible thing. It's not a terrible thing. Simply become aware. It can be done in a different way, in a better way, in a sustainable way. That's the direction we want to go. And that's where young people get excited, because they have lots of creative ideas. Somehow we put a tab on it, put them under wrap, open it up, and young people dare to be themselves and get into a mission that we have to create a world so that the whole human community survives. Otherwise, we're in grave danger. So I'll stop here, and I guess I'm supposed to take some questions. I'll be very happy to do that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. His Excellency will gain not only valuable knowledge, but also meaningful inspiration to pursue business with purpose, to ourselves, to the countries, and to our region as well. And now it's time to open the floor for Q&A before the photo session. Okay, so anybody, any questions are welcome. Please raise your hand for the question. Yes, please. Thank you.
Okay. Hello, Your Excellency. My name is Jenny Starr. I am economic researcher specialized in international policy. First of all, thank you for your inspiring speech. It's quite meaningful for me. Today I have two questions. The first one is, nowadays there are many young generation who want to create a social impact, but they are struggle with funding, so they can't they can't expand their social campaign. So in your opinion, how could they overcome this kind of challenge? And the second one is, as the leader of Bangladesh, do you think how the government sector could create a more friendly ecosystem for young innovators, especially in social enterprise? Thank you.
Well, the second question first, how to make it friendly government, is very difficult. It's not easy. We are hoping, at least in Bangladesh, hoping we can move in that direction. Because the people's perception in Bangladesh government is a kind of a terror machine. You create trouble for them. The purpose of the government is to create trouble, not solve your trouble, but to create new trouble for you. So if you see a government guy, you stay away from him. And that's completely counter to the whole idea of government. So it needs overhauling of great magnitude to make sure that you become, so when you see a government guy, you feel relieved that, okay, I have a government guy next to me. I'll be protected. It takes a lot of practicing, a lot of redesigning inside the government. Hopefully someday we'll be able to do that. On the question of finance, my entire story is about finance. And I'm saying that we are not waiting for money. See? We are not saying, give me some money. We have our stories after stories where we defended ourselves from billions of dollars of money coming to us. We said, please don't give us, don't destroy us. We are okay. So it has to be reversed. You should be generating your funds, creating things. And there I suggest the one idea, social business. CSR. Many companies have CSRs. We can go and describe to them. We're giving money, giving it away to help people. Why don't you invest in a social business fund so that people can take this money, create social businesses, and return the money into your fund, and you contribute to fund each year, it becomes big. You're not doing anything extra. And instead of giving it away, you're keeping it, and it's growing, and we benefit from it. Because companies are supposed to give it away. That's a CSR money. Simply you're saying you can do it other way. You can say half the money you put in a social business fund, half you give it away. See which one works better for you. If you like this one better, gradually you'll pull all the money. And then you can, in addition, if you like it, in addition, you become a partner in a social business. Healthcare could be a fantastic social business. Everybody needs healthcare. And this is the most difficult thing to get in most of the countries. I said, why don't we create social businesses? During COVID-19, we have gone through a big fight, global fight, to make vaccine patent-free. Just patent-free. We're not saying give it free. Patent-free. Patent means you protect the right for yourself. You can charge any amount you want. It's a monopoly right. Take away monopoly. You sell the product at the price which you have to charge. Because it's a question of people's life. We have had the global fight for this. Fighting taken to the WTO, because that's where final voting takes place. It needs every nation's concurrence. When everybody says yes, then only then it could be removed. In the final count, when after a long battle around the world, final count, 10 countries stayed away, didn't vote. So patent stayed. As a result, COVID-19 vaccine went to rich countries in extremely high prices. Companies made billions of dollars, And they're gloating with happiness, giving big captions. So many billions of dollars earned by this, so many billions of dollars here. I said, that's a shame. You're making this money at the cost of people's lives. Many people, millions of people in the world didn't have access to vaccine because they will not allow this vaccine without patent right. If patent right was removed, many countries will produce this and it will be available everywhere. So ever since we are campaigning pharmaceutical companies to become social business companies. Today you pay a penny for your medicine, in the production of that medicine, you charge to the consumer $1 for that. Nobody can stop that. It's a free market. So I said only escape from that is to create social businesses. Where would the social business come from? From me and from you. If you agree, we do that. Nobody can stop us. It's a business. Only thing, we don't overprice it to make money for ourselves. Because social business doesn't have any room for making personal money out of the business. So that's it. So this is the way to go. It can be created. Money should not be a barrier. It's a kind of, again, creative way of thinking how to make it possible. Make contracts with the people. I delivered this, you give me this, I deliver this. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And please feel free to engage with Professor Yunus. Thank you. Please. The lady in the middle, please also introduce yourself and your organization. ตรงกลางสุดขาวค่ะ
First of all, Salam Alaikum. Good afternoon, Prime Minister. I would like to have, I'm Fatima from Asia Medicare Group Company. We're running about the medical tourist business. I have the same question since I asked last Prime Minister, last time when they visit Thailand. I want to know about the bank system. When is going to be developed or improve about bank to bank and increase for more easier business between Thailand and Bangladesh. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's many examples are around the world how to create a new kind of bank, so social business bank. So microcredit banks are social business bank. We're not talking about you make money out of the poor people. We said create a social business bank. If you want to make money and still lend money to the poor people, that's fine. It's allowed. But better still, it could be a social business, so that you do that not to make money for yourself, you do that because you want to help people to transform their own lives and give it a thing. And we keep saying that, like in the universities, in the colleges where students come, I'm saying they should be entrepreneur. In every school, they should have a social business fund. So the students who will become entrepreneurs, they'll come with a business idea and go to the school fund to try it out, practice it. It's a tiny little model that they would like to do. And if it's successful, they can attract funding from other people. But the school should be able to provide this funding so that you can start a new idea while you're still in school. Because that's where you should be preparing yourself as an entrepreneur. And people say, why should they do for social business? I said, at this time, I'm not saying it should be all social businesses. They can do money-making businesses too, but the fund should be there so that they can practice it. But I'll encourage young people to solve the problem of the world. They have to have a mission, purpose of life. Purpose of life could be, I will make lots of money. That's my purpose of life. Okay. But another purpose of life, I will change the world. Things that happen, they don't have to happen because I will come up with an idea which removes all these problems. And history will record that I made this thing, and as a result, the world has changed. People's life has changed. So give people challenges, young people challenges. Young people love challenges. But you're not doing that. All you're saying, get ready so that you know how to appear in the interview board, how you dress yourself, how you answer questions so that you impress, so that you get a job. We are not job seekers. We are human beings. We are full of entrepreneurial capability, full of ideas. That's what the education system should be. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, please. The lady in the front. เวลา
Sorry, I can't see anybody. So I hope there's some light in the middle.
Good afternoon, Your Excellency. I'm Asleisha Karki. I'm representing Nepal for today's program as well. I had a question for you. It was really interesting when you said the 3 zeros, but something that struck even more to me was the part where you said 0% unemployment. So, you know, as a fellow young entrepreneur, I do think entrepreneurship is something we have to talk about more and get more people engaged. But at the same time, as an entrepreneur, I know I need a lot of help from fellow other members in the community as well. So could you elaborate a little more when you said we need to be more prone to entrepreneurship than employment?
One is you're, as a young person going through this education or whatever experience you're going through, you're always thinking, what is that I'm going to do? Oh, I like this, and I'll become a CEO of this company finally. I enter the bottom, and I'll do that. I'm a very talented person. So that is very attractive. Or I see this problem. People work very hard, but they don't get the return that they should get because of the system, the banking, because of the system, the legal system. They're pushed away from the mainstream. So I'll create something so that they will go very easily with a happy life. I'll come up with an idea which will transform their life. If I can transform one human being's life, my life is worth living. If I can do it for many, many, of course, that's what I'll feel happy that I have done something which touched people's lives. Otherwise, I can do things, I make money, have a big, exciting life for myself, but people have nothing to do with you. You never had anything to do with anybody. So you have to choose which one you're looking for. So one of the purpose of education is to find your purpose. See, in the entire education system, there's nothing called what is the purpose of your life. They will make you expert in everything, but never ask the basic question, why I'm here? What am I supposed to do? Do I have choices? How do we choose my path? I think that will be the first question in the education system. The day you enter grade 1, what is the purpose of my life? And I search for it as I go. And I battle with my colleagues. I tell my colleagues, this is what I do. My friends in the class say, no, I want to do this. Other friends say, no, I want to do this. And my ideas keep changing. Next class, I'm much mature. I know what I want to do. But still, brighter ideas keep coming in the debates and so on. Because this is a fundamental question each class asks itself. And we record it. So the next year we read that, what we used to think about last year. Has anybody changed his mind? Yes, I've changed my mind. This is what I want to do. Record it. So as we go, how our minds develop. Ultimately, I have to find the purpose of my life. It's a very short period. It's not a long period. But within that short period, I have to reach the goal of my life. Making money cannot be a goal of life. But if you want, put it there. I want to make money. Go ahead. But you listen to others, what they want to do. I want to change the world. I don't like the way it happened this way. I don't like the way I don't like the war. I don't like this. I want to create a world like this. That's what it will happen. Imagination. That's the key word for every young person. Imagine. Imagine the world that you want to have. Imagine what you want. That's the part of your growing up. By the time you're mature, you're ready to go, you have your ideas matured. If you imagine, whatever you imagine, it will happen. If you don't imagine, it will never happen. Imagination is a big part. That's the most important ingredient in every single human life. Imagination. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much for the Q&A session, and big round of applause to His Excellency Professor Dr. Yunus for a wonderful keynote address. And also please remain on the stage for a photo session, and may I invite His Excellency Mr. Warawut Silapa Acha, Minister of Social Development and Human Security, the Kingdom of Thailand. Her Excellency Ms. Jirakon Singtupai, Minister attached to the Prime Minister's Office. His Excellency Mr. Muhammad Tauhid Hossain, Honorable Advisor for Foreign Affairs of the Government of Bangladesh. His Excellency Indra Madi Pandey, Secretary General of BIMSTEC, and all the speakers from the BIMSTEC member states for both sessions. Please, all the speakers come up for the photo session. Chile. Here to witness the BIMSTEC Young Gen Forum, Where the Future Meets, co-hosted by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and TNN World. It's such a highlight that 7 BIMSTEC member states together represent over 1.7 billion people, accounting for nearly 23% of the world's population, forming a dynamic and expansive market full of investment opportunities across various industries.
শুধু প্ল্যান করলেই হবে, টিভি পাইতে ক্যাপটাও তো খুলতে হবে। কোকা-কোলার এত বড় অফার, ক্যাপ খুলো, কোড দাও আর উত্তর দিয়ে জিতে নাও ফ্রিজ, টিভি, ফোন আর প্রতি বোতলে নিশ্চিত ক্যাশব্যাক।
Rosa, beyond beauty.